In studio, I've got Clay Muganda. Clay, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
How you feeling?
I'm good. I'm just feeling old.
Why are you feeling old?
Because I'm old, you know?
Okay, karibia mic kidogo ndio tukupate vizuri.
This is good enough.
This is good enough. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
So, Clay, for those who are listening in right now, Clay Muganda is an editor at The Standard, and you wrote an article on Saturday that really, I read that article and I was just like, we got to get this guy in studio because this is something that we are constantly talking about.
It was published on Sunday.
It was, you wrote it earlier.
No, it was published in the Sunday Standard.
Yes,
Yeah.
in the Sunday Standard, yeah. So, tell us a bit about yourself. How long have you been writing?
That's a question I get to answer so many times. I think like commercially maybe 23 years.
23 years.
Yes, that's why I keep on telling you that I'm old.
But the article you wrote really resonates for the youth of Kenya. One of the biggest challenges in the 23 years you've been writing, has there been a change in how youth interact with politics?
No, I don't think so because I've been around for quite some time even before I started writing. And I remember every time all these young politicians come in, everybody talks about like we're going to take care of the youth. The youth are the ones who are suffering.
Yeah.
But it never changes. So I don't think from the 70s to the 80s, 90s, it has ever changed because everybody rides on the back of the youth.
Yeah.
But nothing changes when they get up there. And I think the youth probably have come to they've learned to live with that. And every time they keep on lied to, they keep on being told that things are going to change this time, things are going to change, but nothing changes.
Yeah. Is it our fault? Is it our fault as youth? Because, I mean, we're talking, you're saying in the 20 plus years that you've been writing, the youth have been basically behaving the same, which is when politicians come, they give us promises, we make noise for them, we go, we vote, and then we're left high and dry.
You see, let's start like when Kenya got multi-party. Let's start from probably 1992. We had all these youth groups that actually were mobilizing for either side, either the opposition or what was in the government.
Yeah.
And everybody promised the youth that after this, things are going to get better. That's how we ended up with things like maybe Youth for Kandu, and I'm very sure all these political parties had youth wings. But when they got there, they actually grew old in politics, and now again they're mobilizing the youth. They were the youth.
Yeah.
And that's why this idea of Kenyan youth thinking like, oh, they keep lying to us that we are the leaders of tomorrow. They keep lying to us. No, they're not lying to them. Because 10 years ago, 15 years ago, when they were saying that the youth are the leaders of tomorrow, KJ, Murkomen, all these young people in parliament, they were not in parliament. They're the leaders now. What are they doing?
20 minutes past 8 a.m. I've got Clay Muganda in studio. Remember, you can join the conversation using the hashtag Vibes and VB. I hope you're learning a thing or two.
Morning Vybez, where you are the MVP. No negative vibes.
I'm going to remind you, you are on the biggest reggae breakfast show in Africa. They call us Morning Vybez, and they call me the captain of good vibes, Kwambox. Let me tell you, good vibes is when you are at home, you can't stay, you know, as a young person, you're probably working late at night, watching your favorite series. Lakini hakuna kitu ukatsi yaka bundles zikisha. Maybe you need to select the best data bundle in town. Whether you're watching your favorite movie, series, attending virtual concerts on YouTube, chatting with your friends, or scrolling through their Facebook, Snapchat, and TikTok timelines, get Telkom data by dialing *544# to buy bundles. There are different kinds of bundles. So if you're looking for a big bundle like 30 GB, najua 30 GB now inakutetemesha akili sahi. 30 GB data bundle, you can get that for just 1,000 bob. If you're looking for a daily bundle, 700 MB daily, and you use it during the day, and then at night they give you free 700 MB. It's just 60 bob. 60 bob. If you're looking for 2 GB daily and you get a free 2 GB At night, it's just 100 bob. Switch to Telkom. What are you waiting for? Because they've definitely got you covered. For our youth, you don't need to bother parents on what's on TV or what you want to watch on your laptops and your tablets. Select Telkom and get your freedom right there. Telkom, moving with you. Remember, in studio, I've got Clay Muganda. Welcome to the show.
Once again, thanks a lot.
Once again. So I want us to go to the article. For those of you who are just tuning in, Clay Muganda is an editor at Standard. And there's an article you wrote that was published on Sunday, which is Greed and Love for Shortcuts, Sinking Dreams for the Youth. I urge you to go and read that article because he's really highlighted it there, nicely. So I'm going to go to Kenya. You said it is aware that the highest rates of labor underutilization among the youth, many suffer from low education attainment, skills and deficits. Talk to me about that.
No, because that is a part of the national youth policy, the government's national youth policy, and it says that actually they're putting the youth at they're making empowerment of the youth a priority because they understand what the youth goes through, all those things that labor underutilization that the youth go through. So that's why they want to come up with better policies that actually target the youth and put them in better state and improve their living standards and stuff. But you see, it says all those things on paper, but where are the programs? The only programs you actually tend to see is when politics is all over the place. And then everybody talks about the youth and everybody mobilizes them. You go to a place, you find the young people, you give them 10 bikes, they're probably 500 people or whatever it is. But because they've been doing this for a very long time,
decades.
Is it really working?
Is it working?
Yeah, I think that's the question that actually we should be asking. Okay, why can the youth participate and probably get things done in a better way? It's because they like handouts. Yeah, they like handouts. It's like, it's not a question of even like, I want to learn how to fish. No, actually, they want to learn how to steal the fish.
So you're saying, because when we have these conversations here on Morning Vybez, I remember there's a time I asked guys, would you vote in the next election? And overwhelmingly, people were saying they wouldn't vote. In fact, their guys were saying, just give me my 2,000.
Yeah.
Just give me my 2,000 that you're going to bribe me. We'll move on with life.
I mean, people don't want to participate. They want things done, but they don't want to participate. In as much as, let's look at the Constitution.
Yeah.
Everybody, a few years ago, 10 years ago, people voted for the Constitution. People did not read the Constitution. They voted for it. So right now, people are not reading it. So people don't know, like, actually, we can push our MPs. We elected them. We can push them to do this. And if they don't do this, we can actually recall them.
Yeah.
So the youth don't participate. They don't want to know all those things. They're so busy as looking for how to make ends meet. They're so busy trying to make ends meet that actually they cannot participate in this legislative, where actually forcing the MPs to come up with better laws that target them.
Yeah.
Then they like whining. Or they've just appointed old men. They keep on appointing. But the positions are actually where they appoint old men. Why would you want to appoint a 25-year-old to go and be a chairman of a company, of a farm that actually meets twice per year?
Yeah.
They're basically like old people's homes.
Yeah. But in the article you mentioned that when you're saying that we like handouts, and then moving, we don't even have time to be part of it. It's because we are hakuna job. Sina do. So if someone comes to me and says, tib him, and gives me 5K, I am tibbing.
Yeah.
I am tibbing.
You'll take that.
Yeah.
But you see, you won't take them to task like, okay, fine, you're giving me this 5,000 bob. Then what about tomorrow? And then you vote for him because he took the 5,000 bob. Then after 2 months, he comes back and he drives this big car and you're seeing this good lifestyle. What is he telling you? That actually the only way to make money, and he cannot explain to you how he made this money in 2 months. So what he's actually telling you, like, okay, fine, the best way to make money is get into politics.
Yeah.
And how do you make money in politics? Steal public resources. So that's why these guys want to know. They call it Omoka. The people who want to Omoka because of through hard work.
Yeah.
Many people want to Omoka through politics.
Yeah, but everyone we see, I mean, not to quote anybody, but this is a hustler's nation, quote unquote.
There is no ugly word in this country. Actually, the ugliest word ever invented in this country is hustler.
Yeah.
Because it is the same thing as sufferer. It is actually it is to encourage people to worship poverty.
Yeah.
You are a hustler, stay there. I will come and give you. I am dealing with hustlers. Why does somebody tell you like, oh, come on, you need to move from this place where you are to this part. I'll uplift you and remove you from here.
Yeah.
But we keep on encouraging people to remain there.
Yeah.
It is like it's encouraging the youth to worship poverty, because hustler is not actually a good word.
I know.
Yeah.
Right here on Morning Vybez.
People have embraced it.
We don't use it.
People have embraced it.
Our MVPs know we don't use that word.
I mean, it's like this thing where people see you in dreadlocks and think like, oh, you're a sufferer and all that. And that's one of the things that made me cut my dreadlocks. But somebody would see me and tell me, unajua wewe ni suffer. I tell him, no, I am not. I have dreadlocks.
Yeah.
I am not
a sufferer.
Mimi si sufferer.
I love it.
Yeah.
29 minutes to 9 a.m. Clay, I love what you're saying. And, if this has been happening in consecutively decade on decade on decade, it means that at some point, the people who are youth are the parents of today. They are the parents of the youth today. Yeah. What message are they giving the young? Because we've inherited the culture knowing that, hey, and then we give a vote. Absolutely. I want you to hold that thought because I got to play your song.
Morning Vybez, where you are the MVP. No negative vibes.
All right, shout out to everybody coming through on #VybesMVP. DM Wawera na kucheki anasema never let a flame burn you twice. Put it off once and for all. Responding to Tano Tena zingine za Uhuru Kenyatta, kosa Kotu Secretary General anasema, hey, by the way, musikwe na haraka kumtuma nyumbani bana. He's still young. Dr. Ice Cream anasema the state of African affairs so sad. Obama retired too. What is special with Uhuru? Should go home as early as yesterday. Larry Munyao anasema hiyo story tena ya Barack Obama, anasema retired at 55 and there's no talk of extending his term. Alijipiga shughuli na akarudi kwa maisha ya civilian. Lakini Uhuru is 58, was born in power, grew in power, spinning the machinery for a third time, yet the common man is still suffering. Tehuti anasema, Honorable Clay, I salute you. I started reading your articles about 20 years ago when I was a small boy, pale kwa Sunday Standard. Long live. Looking forward for great inspiration. Thanks Kwambox for bringing such a real person. Shazi Dazi anasema niko ndani kama kawa na wakilisha. Ruai Joska is listening the show. Kwambox, your story ya my youth ni true. Unajua wako wengi na japesa. Na kucheki. I'm going to come back with Clay because Clay, kuna kitu hapo umemention. Umesema the youth are always, the youth of tomorrow. The youth of tomorrow. But if this has been happening for decades, it means mtu mwenye alikuwa youth 20 years ago sahi I'm sure kuna mtoi. Yeah. Mwenye chances zako 20 years. Yeye ni youth. Yeah. Anamwambia nini huyo mtoi? Because we're seeing the thing being repeated. Hold that thought.
Traffic on Vybez Radio. Brought to you by the Standard e-paper. Get all your publications for one price.
Sijui niwaambie nini watu wa Syokimau. Sijui niwaambie nini, sijui Muhame. Ama mtafute kazi huko Syokimau bana. Traffic imeshikana kana bana. Oh my God. Looking at Mombasa Road right now. From Imara Daima, uteremke past Syokimau kuelekea nikao unaenda huko Mlolongo bana. Traffic imebanana, nikao unaenda banana bana. Yani, Mombasa Road, you will get a bit of reprieve after Imara Daima heading towards South Sea. Hapo ka traffic kana kidogo. Unajua kuna ka construction kana happen hapo. Alafu kana funguka all the way. Sasa traffic inaanzia huko sijui. Tuseme tu Mombasa Road yote kuanzia Syokimau. Uwe tu na patience. if you're coming from sides of Thika Road, ujue kwamba past Garden City Mall is okay, lakini utapatana na traffic pouring in from Muthaiga, alafu Thika Road zinashikana hapo, alafu sasa Pangani over Pasuko. Waiyaki Way, not too yucky for this time of day. It can be worse, but it is looking okay. Let me know what you're seeing on your end so we can help keep the city on the move. Remember the hashtag Vibes MVP.
Morning Vybez, where you are the MVP. No negative vibes.
You are on Morning Vybez with your captain of good vibes. They call me Kwambox. I want to welcome you to the biggest reggae breakfast show in Africa, in case you're just tuning in. But if you've been here, you know that I've been having a conversation with Clay Muganda, editor of Standard newspaper. Clay, welcome back.
Thanks.
So before we took the break, I asked you, what kind of legacy are Kenyans handing down to? Because every time the conversation, I think the most mentioned word, aside from corruption in Kenya, is youth. Youth this, youth that. You would think, if you're an outsider looking in, you would think, hey, I want to be a youth in Kenya.
Yeah, actually, during the single party rule, they even used to be, when there was only KANU, there used to be KANU youth wing, as you know, the youth wing of the party.
Which Ruto was part of?
Ruto joined YK 92.
92, yeah.
That's youth for KANU. But before that, they used to be the youth wing of KANU party.
Yeah.
All these people transitioned into politics. Some of them transitioned into politics. Yeah, but did they change the fortunes of the youth? Okay, you asked okay, fine, what legacy are we leaving?
Yeah.
Okay, fine. So let's say in a village of maybe 30, let me just give an example of 30 young people, or probably 5 will go through, 25 will fall through the system.
Yeah.
So now it's this 25 that those guys are going to target. So that's why you find, because the highest population of Kenyan youth actually are in the rural areas, not in urban cities, not in urban areas, are in rural areas. So that's where people, those are the ones politicians tend to target a lot. Out of these 30, this number that we created, out of these 30, the 25 are down there in the villages or wherever they're not doing so well. The 5 are so busy doing their own things that actually these are the 5 who say I cannot participate in politics.
Yeah.
But at the same time, because they are very much aware of what goes on, at the same time when the president appoints an old man to a certain post, the 5 complain.
Yeah.
But they cannot actually talk to the 25 and say, you guys, this is what we need to do to change the system, to make the system work for all of us. So we are very good in complaining. That is actually our biggest pastime now with this coronavirus thing, lockdowns. Yeah. Our biggest pastime used to be drinking. Yeah. Now it is not. Now it is complaining and getting.
Which is also something else that was handed down to us. When you talk to the youth, walipatiwa bad system and of course alcohol.
We always talk about this bad system we inherited, but are we ready? Why can't we change it to a system that actually conforms with the 21st century, something that actually we can be comfortable living in? Yeah.
But something happened. Something somewhere changed, because you're talking about, in 1992, 1998, youth were, there was a conversation. And if you look at how campuses have been involved in, protesting things that have been happening, this doesn't happen anymore. In the last maybe 20, 15 years or so, youth involvement directly has been of, hey, come, let's set the agenda for you, and then you go make noise about this. Yeah. You also mentioned in your article last Friday in Kisii, terrible situation where you have 2 different factions of youth both factions probably going through the same exact thing. Their situation is exactly the same, but they're basically being used.
Yeah, because if you ask them, like, okay, fine, the other guys who are blocking who are blocking the Ruto camp from
entering Kisii.
If you actually went to ask them what it is that they were gaining from it,
Yeah.
or what, just ask them a simple thing like, what are the youth policies for this county that this government has put in place? They don't know. The ones actually who are probably for Ruto also, if you ask them, what are the government policies that actually the government probably put in place 2-3 years ago for the youth, and have they worked? They don't know. So people are not, they've been numbed. Kenyan youth have been numbed into accepting handouts. Tunangoja atakuja. In Luoland, there's something they call it gonyude. It's youth, that's just youth. So they say you release the youth, So when you visit them, before you leave, they tell you release the youth. Give them something so that they can go.
It's so interesting.
Yeah.
I've been to like 25 African countries, and in every African country, there is something for handouts.
Yeah. In Lowland, they call it that. I don't know whether they still use it.
In Nigeria, they say thank you for coming. It's called that thank you for coming.
Yeah.
Yes.
So that they give you that, and that's when now they disperse. So people expect that.
Yeah.
And most of these people, after that, okay, fine, it's for that day. Then what about tomorrow? So, okay, you asked about the legacy.
Yeah.
Yes. You can say the system has actually maybe is messed up so much so that those who fall through the system, like maybe don't continue the education or don't get better opportunities, do not have a chance of either rising. So they remain down there, and these are the people keep on relying on. These are the ones that politicians tend to use a lot. So you create a circle here of poverty. You see, it's a vicious circle of poverty, because this person was poor. He'll end up, there's no purchasing power. They cannot set up businesses. Even if you set up a business there's nobody who's going to buy anything from them, because they don't have the money.
They're not empowered.
Yeah, they're not empowered, you see. So this economic empowerment that we talk about all the time, that we're going to empower the youth, I think it needs to start from the places where the most vulnerable youth live, and that is the rural areas. Yes, urban areas are not any different either.
Yeah.
Because there's so many people out here who actually, the so-called youth.
Yeah.
And they talk very nicely about wanting change, but when that time comes,
they don't, they're nowhere to be seen. But, this is now understanding. I think it's something we know. Now understanding, we know that there's the youth. We play a very vital part to every election, to every leader that's been voted. We literally give them that power, but in return, we get nothing. And it's been, in your article, you say that we love handouts.
Yeah, we love handouts.
So how do we cut off handouts, considering we don't have, when you're talking about unemployment, you're talking about the youth. When you're talking about lack of opportunities, you're talking about the youth. And then you're saying, don't take handouts. How's that going to work?
Okay, because the thing is, the problem we have, and this is not just with the youth, is that in Kenya, we believe that when we vote, that's the end of it. We don't want to continue the process, because ever since this constitution was changed to bring in this thing of recalling an MP, nobody has ever tried to recall an MP.
Yeah.
So we think like we voted, let's wait. After 5 years, we'll vote for another person. So in the process, we don't push them like, okay, fine, you come from a rice growing area. Why don't you go there and actually work on push a policy or push those that favor us? You come from a fishing area. We are engaged in this as the youth. Why don't you go there and push this? Because if you look, there is not a single legislation you can say like this one, like let's say, let me use the name of these young people, like the KJ bill or the Sakaja bill or the Murkomen bill, or you don't have any of these young people in parliament right now, a bill to their name or an act to their name that actually tends to favor the youth. Most of these things came from the executive, like, oh, we're going to give the youth 30%. I think Sakaja came up with another one. We're going to give the youth 30% of these opportunities or the tenders or what. Yeah, but is it really working?
Yeah.
Because this time when, let me just, like during this COVID thing when there's so many tenders floated, how many of these youth groups or the so-called youth actually manage to get these tenders.
Yeah.
So the problem is we vote, then we forget. We don't want to push and follow up like, okay, fine, you promised us A. Now we voted for you because you promised us A. Have you delivered A? That's a problem.
But Clay, knowing that there's only 5% of, say, 30, say 5 of them, you remember, let's go back to the analogy of the 30. There's 5 Omoka, 25 Wameanguka uko on the wayside. And we're all going through the same thing, which is, lack of opportunities, lack of this, lack of that. And for this scenario to change, then for the 5, what they have over the 25 is information, education, which used to even come in school. Civic education was this the chief.
That's one thing people don't actually. Chief is a very important person.
I know. We can have an argument in shags over land. Instead of bringing a lawyer, we have to bring the chief.
Yes, the chief is the first place. Anyway, very important person. The thing is that the 5 who have the information, in as much as they probably want to try to change the lives of the 25, they can just do as much. They cannot do as much as the government can do because, first of all, the government's job is to create a conducive environment where everything can thrive. But now, if probably you bring in something worth 30 shillings and the tax is 70 bob. You see? So it becomes even difficult for the youth there to set up cottage industries and all that, because most of these third world countries or developing economies, they actually built
on SMEs.
The cottage, SMEs and which actually, in Kenya, fashion industry is an SME.
Imagine.
And has it been exploited?
No.
So
Leather. How many? I mean, we could go on and on about this, but I want to narrow it down, Clay. So, your article points out that youth need to end this handout culture and start demanding for actual things that don't last that particular time, that last you the 4 years or the 8 years that person is your leader. And we do understand that handout culture cannot end in a scenario where people are poor.
No. We need to do. We need to stop. We have to remove. Why are people poor? Because they perpetuate a culture of poverty. They encourage you to worship poverty because hoping that things will change. And who is going to change them? I am the one who will change your life. So you have to wait for this politician who told you that he's going to change your life for him to change it. Where umekatu? Because you've been called a sufferer, you've been called a hustler, or you'll get your riches in heaven. Things like that.
Na sasa mwenye anakuongelesha hapo kuna breath ya gold.
This idea of actually numbing the youth, this is what needs to stop. I think the youth also need to wake up, because this is the 21st century. There's so much information. What they did not know 15 years ago, now it's very easy for them to get it, through all the social media, whatever. If in 1992 people could actually mobilize and push for a creation of a multi-party system, and they did not have as much information as they do now, why can these guys take advantage of this and stop? Because I don't think now the youth are more stupid. They're only probably
more smart.
They're
lazy.
smart, yes, but very lazy when it comes. When every time they see a politician,
unachoka.
Akili inamtoka.
People say stuff like, wacha tu akule tamu yake amalize hizo 5 aendange. And you're like, that's 5 years of your life.
Which you'll never get
back.
So I think that the thing is that it needs to start in the mind. People need to start to start actually pushing politicians to deliver much more than they promise.
Much more
than they promise. Yes, because they're the ones. They're representatives. Not all villagers can go to parliament. But this one person they elected is supposed to represent their wishes and all that. But here, every politician has made his politics or their politics national. politics is local.
It's
All
local.
politics is local. I mean, you are elected by the people of Igembe Ngombe. Go and champion their causes.
I like it.
Don't come here and start championing the causes of people of
In Nairobi.
of Nairobi or people of Kisumu.
Yeah.
They don't know. They did not elect you.
They didn't elect you.
Yeah.
Clay, I gotta let you leave. I'm gonna urge every MVP who's listening in right now, get the Standard. You can subscribe for just 20 bob and get to read this article that was published on Sunday. Greed and love for shortcuts, sinking dreams of the youth. And we had the editor Clay Muganda in studio. Thank you so much. And I'm sure there's going to be an article this Sunday.
Oh yes, I write. I got back to writing, so I write every Sunday. I stopped writing satire, so
I'm excited. I can't wait to read the next article. Thank you so much for taking your time to come and share with us. This has been a conversation right here on Morning Vybez.
Vybez Radio, we rule the nation in this generation.